Is there a non-harmful amount of time I could be microwaved? This is why I follow No Stupid Questions. Also, the person who said 10 minutes is insane. There is no way. The extremities would get hotter much faster, and remember, blood travels. Or if it boils and clots and stops traveling, you are dead. Either scenario, it would take less time. BC, you don't need to heat all of these blood uniformly hot. Just any blood getting too hot will kill you. Start here. Very informative. There is a time below which it wouldn't hurt, but I wouldn't like to calculate it. Depending on your microwave, it's likely many times the action level for safe exposure, though, and probably a lot worse than a tanning bed. https www.microwaves101.com/encyclopedias/biological effects of radiation. Seeing as microwave heating was invented to literally heat living hamsters from frozen, I imagine there is ample literature available to calculate how much energy your body weight could take before getting too hot. If you go find one of the science subs, they might help you for free, as it's an interesting question.
Are you okay?
I'd bet 30s or so. Eyeballs would be the most unprotected water-filled object. I can't imagine it would be too hard to boil an eyeball from some farm animal and see what happens. There is medical-grade microwave therapy. Came about as a side effect of the new world of radio back years ago. Some technicians discovered they got burned when fooling around inside big transmitters. It was radio waves. You could do serious damage to things like your blood marrow before you ever saw any surface damage. If there is, it's not long at all. The person who said 10 minutes is massively misunderstanding the point. Microwaves do not heat things uniformly. Their energy literally travels in a wave, resulting in hot and cold patches. For proof of this, take the rotating plate out and place a chocolate bar inside. It won't melt altogether. It will have areas where it is more melty than others. The heat is generated by excitation of water particles, not by convection as in a normal oven. As the majority of water in the human body is contained within cells, heating that water causes cells to burst and die. I can't give you an exact timescale on which this would happen and how quickly it would cause harm, but it is absolutely much faster than it would take to raise core body temperature by 5 degrees. Remember when some bloke gave his microwave artificial intelligence and the microwave tried to kill him by encouraging him to climb inside? https www.google.com/amp/s/www.india.times.com/trending/human-interest/microwave triestakilman after heg. Avid Artificial Intelligence 568274. HTML. Depends on how powerful the microwave is. But if you put your hand in a normal microwave, you might last 5 seconds if you move your hand around. He's probably thinking about other girls. I love that you are wondering about this deeply enough to post about it to strangers on the internet. When I did a VSAT training course for using terrestrial satellite transmitters for television broadcast, the training material was discussing the impacts of microwave exposure and specifically mentioned a case where someone stuck their hand in a faulty microwave oven for about 5 seconds. IIRC. They received nerve damage to the hand, but little else because the wavelength and energy was just right to pass through the skin and muscle and damage the nerves. Caused some terrible nerve injuries, however. Basically caused a permanent sensation of burning. So, I don't think there is a minimum safe time to be exposed to a microwave oven. Safety would be measured by the power of the microwave emitter, not the duration. Take a look into the various systems that do this as a form of active crowd control or area denial. System. https en.wikipedia.org/wiki/active denial system. It would depend on the power and the length of exposure. For low power and extended length, GSM waves seems to be okayish, but some government had to intervene as some manufacturer didn't care about the output. Funny enough, that hasn't been studied, but microwaves are tuned to only heat water. Handy because water is in almost all food, so we can make reasonable guesses. A typical human has around 30 liters of water. It takes 4,180 joules to heat a liter of water 1 degree Celsius. And a typical microwave is about 750 watts. Or joules, s. There's not a lot of good data on how much your blood can get up before it seriously harms you. But if we assume 5 degrees Celsius increase is probably deadly, you come pretty close to about 10 minutes of microwaving. Rounding a lot of numbers, of course, since this is some time that hasn't been studied much for all the obvious reasons. IDK man. That guy in Kick-Ass got microwaved for a few seconds and exploded. That seemed pretty factually scientific to me, thinking face. Let's microwave you and find out. Lol. On a serious note, theoretically I would assume there would be a small portion of time for which you would be okay, but it would not be very long. Seconds. Rather than minutes. I'm no microwave expert, but I know more than my fair share about human anatomy. So honestly, my first concern is, microwaves tend to heat unevenly. This could cause blood to congeal into clots, even if you feel fine right after your short stint cosplaying as a bag of popcorn. Even a very small clot could dislodge and travel through your bloodstream to somewhere important, like the heart, lungs, or brain, causing a heart attack, pulmonary embolism, or stroke. Wherever blood flow is blocked off from, tissue will start to die after not too long because it isn't getting any oxygen. Also, if you're wearing anything with metal parts like zippers or rivets, not only would you break your microwave, but you would also decrease the amount of time it would take to start burning you. Have you ever microwaved a fork or a piece of foil? Please don't. It sparks violently and can cause your microwave to explode. I would imagine that could be pretty bad for you. This is why we read it. Hands clapping, hands clapping, hands clapping, hands clapping. I was the boss on a second shift. I used to lock up. One night I was checking things. Before I locked up, I heard a microwave going in the back. I went back there and the microwave was on with the door closed. I unplugged it. The next night I found the same thing, but the microwave was on with the door open. I couldn't feel anything when I unplugged it, but I always wondered about what could happen. I then tossed it into the dumpster. You're being microwaved all the time. It's ambient and pervasive. What you're really asking is how long you could have 1,000 watts of heat added to your body, spread over your surface. It would be fine for a few seconds. Assuming it's evenly spread, at about 20 seconds, you'd be hot enough to start cooking proteins.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.